Hi there, welcome back. Mr. Birling, a hard case to crack. He's an arrogant man, full of male chauvinism. Will the inspector be able to get through to him? Will his nerves stand strong? What do you think? Let's have a look.
Arthur Birling tried to mask his discomfort behind a facade of authority as I began my line of questioning. I could see the calculations running through his mind. How best to handle this situation, how to assert control. He was a man used to having power, used to people deferring to him. But tonight, things would be different. I started with the basics. A young woman, Eva Smith, had died in a horrific manner. She had chosen to end her life, and I needed to understand why. Not just for her sake, but for the sake of those whose lives had intersected with hers. Birling's initial reaction was predictable. He tried to distance himself, claiming he had no real connection to her. But as I pressed him further, it became clear he remembered her all too well. She had worked in his factory, a good worker by all accounts, until she had the audacity to ask for a raise. He described the incident with a casual dismissal that revealed so much more than he intended. A strike, he called it, led by a few troublemakers who thought they could force his hand. But Birling was a businessman first and foremost, proud of his hard-headed approach to labor relations. He made it clear that he saw no wrong in what he had done. Sacking Eva Smith was just a necessary decision in the running of his business. But I wasn't interested in the justifications he'd rehearsed in his mind over and over. I was interested in the truth beneath them, the part of him that knew, deep down, that he had contributed to her despair. I pushed him to reflect on the consequences of his actions, on what happened to Eva after she left his employ. It was clear that he had never given it a second thought. To him, she was just one of many, insignificant in the grand scheme of his business. But now, with the truth laid bare, I could see a flicker of something in his eyes. Unease, perhaps, or the beginning of realization. Yet he quickly buried it under layers of self-righteousness and defiance. He turned defensive, insisting that his responsibility ended when she walked out of the factory gates. But I knew, and I think he began to sense, that responsibility does not end so neatly. Actions have consequences, whether one acknowledges them or not. He sacked her, and that set off a chain of events that no one in that room could escape from. His attempts to steer the conversation away, to downplay his role, only served to strengthen my resolve. I wasn't going to let him wriggle free. I was there to show him that his decisions, made so easily and with such certainty, had led to the destruction of a young woman's life. And it wasn't just his actions alone that mattered. It was the way those actions rippled outwards, affecting lives he never even considered. As I continued to press him, I noticed the discomfort growing, not just in Birling, but in the others too. The facade was cracking. The carefully constructed image of a respectable, successful family was beginning to show its flaws. Birling's bravado was no match for the weight of his guilt, whether he chose to acknowledge it or not. But this was only the beginning. There was more to uncover, and I would see to it that every one of them faced the truth of their actions. For now, though, Birling's interrogation was enough to set the stage. He had shown me what I needed to see: his lack of empathy, his self-interest, and his deep-seated belief in his own righteousness. These were the qualities that had driven Eva Smith to the edge, and they were the qualities that would ultimately lead to the Birling's unraveling. I will interrogate each of them separately. They all have secrets, and I will break down the walls. That's for sure.